So the first day when I came here, it was around 5 to 6 years ago. I know there was Mixer Festival happening here. Every year they would organize this festival just on the streets down here. And we went to the festival ended, and I really needed to use the toilet. So there were some people drinking in front of this place, and I asked, can I use the toilet? And I came, I loved the atmosphere so much that I asked if I can work here. And then I did. I walked out of the toilet. I was just like, yes, please, this is it. Can I work here? It used to be much more of a business. It was a business, totally. There was 40 more beds down the street. It was massive. This was mostly like where we live now, and what is our home used to be a party zone. So here it would be all the guests from the other spot, just partying, drinking, getting wasted. For my taste, it was a little bit too much. The things change here very fast. So even a couple of months ago, this wall was totally different color. There was no shelves. There was no plants. This whole thing did not exist. Last year we painted the whole kitchen into this blue with cloud stuff, and that's absolutely new. There was actually no kitchen until a month, really. There was some kitchen appliances that we would use, but they were just in random spots, so some of our volunteers just built the kitchen out of nothing, like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, so I found this place completely randomly. You know, I used to hitchhike around, and then I came to Serbia and to Belgrade, and I met some other hitchhikers, and we went to one hostel. And then I met this girl that said she was like helping refugees in the barracks. Yeah, then I moved my tent to this place where the kitchen was, and I started helping. Like first I was a prep manager in the kitchen, and then I did volunteer coordination, and later I did a workshop. And this was where I met, and also Tamara. She came to help us out in the organization. Because she was the only Serbian speaker, actually, that was super helpful for all the paper stuff and all, with making agreements with the locals, and she was super helpful. And then she took on the warehouse and did like all the clothes sorting and all that. Sometimes we would go to the city to party, and we would crash at the hostel here. And now we were meeting again here in Serbia. We came here directly, because we know Tamara, and we like this place, actually. It's a good place.
Soon after, a lot of things were happening in the city. The refugee crisis, some political stuff, like them selling the waterfront, and a lot of it hit this area specifically, some corruption with the government trying to take over the hostels as well. Basically, At that time, we closed because we didn't want to deal with all the fucking inspections and bribes and I don't know what, just to stay alive as an already like almost non-profit thing. So we just re-registered into the organization of world artists, travelers, and volunteers, which gives us more freedom just to actually do what we love. We are more willing than a business to do these kind of artisty, fun, creative things, or just humane things. So I'm the boss of this place. But then, yeah, all the volunteers basically run it as well, but most of them plan to leave eventually, so. Or just don't have time to be as dedicated. There's always space for anybody who really wants to stay, and yeah, like Christoph, Jane, and Safe are actually crashing on the floor at the moment, but they're not picky. It's fine for them. They want to be here, so good for me, good for them. When it comes to guests and how long they stay and how they turn into volunteers, I don't know, maybe this kind of structure could be similar to some student homes or something, I don't know, or a family in a sense. Yeah, it's a group of friends living together and hosting other people that might become their friends if they're open to it, so that's kind of it. And you get to spend the times with the animals as well. It's fun. You're never bored, basically. Wherever you go in the world, there's somebody waiting for you, you know.
Tamara? Tamara?
Yes.
Tamara?
Hello, Joe.
Tamara?
Yes.
Fortunately, this lovely lady let me stay longer. And she said one of our volunteers is leaving next week. Do you fancy filling in for them? And I said, yeah. And I ended up volunteering here for maybe 6 or 7 months. So the plan was to stay maybe 3 or 4 days, and I ended up staying 7 months. Fantastico, fantastico.
The negative sides, well, usually come from people being too relaxed sometimes and feeling as if they're just alone in their home, and they forget that it's still sort of a public space and there is always your environment watching you. And yes, I don't know, we had years ago some problems because many young people like to consume some things which might not be considered legal by the government. So if that was noticed by the neighbors, yeah, like, well, they're not happy. So we had police raids even 2-3 years ago, just because they were trying to find some grassy things. And yeah, like now, absolutely, well, I try to make it sure that all the guests and volunteers know that there is no consumption of any illegal substances inside of the place, so they can just go and do that outside.
You find the real people and things like that. Really where it's real.
And it goes everywhere and you pay one price and you can go anywhere in the city?
But they sabotaged it.
Because they raised the price to 2.
No, worse than that.
Why?
So, so it used to be the fastest subway trains in the world. So the top speed, remember this is an underground train, was 100 kilometers per hour, which is pretty fast for underground. And then what happened was in 1997, they decided to manually slow all the trains down to 40. So from 100 to 40.
Why?
So, well, again, they've been doing this, the 90s started this whole thing with security.
Right.
Even before 9/11.
Very often we have all of us drinking and partying here, but I usually, when I notice that most of the guests are slowly going to bed and stuff, try to make sure that the volunteers also kind of keep you down. And I'm like, yeah, guys, okay, we can go across the street and drink there if we are really in the party mood and everybody else isn't. And yeah, it's kind of, or just thinking about how others feel, you know. I don't know what is freedom. I mean, I don't think there's much freedom in this world, so we are very limited in how free we can be. Even in here, it's not free, you know, we can't be loud as much as we want, there's neighbors, we can't, I don't know, we can't make a bonfire here, so it's not really totally free, but it's probably freer than many other places. Okay. Vamos para.